This is Brett Johnson. We're in a time of unprecedented crisis, or maybe not unprecedented, but certainly unusual for our times. And so what do we have to do in a time like this? Moses has now obeyed God. He has got to Pharaoh, and he's been to present his request that the people of Israel be allowed to go into the desert to worship God. And Pharaoh has responded by saying, "Who is this Lord that you're talking about? I don't know him, and I'm not going to let your people go." And then what Pharaoh does is he doubles up on the work requirements. So he goes to his supervisors and says, "Go and tell those lazy Israelites they need to make the same number of bricks, but without straw, without hay." And so they're under extreme pressure. Moses and Aaron have obeyed God. Now God did warn Moses and say, "Look, he's going to have a hard heart, this Pharaoh guy, so be prepared." But the Israeli leaders come to Moses and Aaron and they say, "Look, God's going to judge you because you've brought trouble upon us." And their specific words is they said, "Look, may the Lord look on you and judge you. You've made us obnoxious to Pharaoh and his officials." Sometimes you obey God and you appear to be obnoxious to other people. How can this person do that? How can they do that? And remember Lazarus, when he's lying in the tomb and Jesus gets the message, Lazarus stinks, right? Because he's been lying there rotten. Sometimes we obey God. We're waiting for the miracle. There's no empty tomb yet. And we look foolish. So there is sometimes a hockey stick effect, they call it in business, where you go down before you go up. Yeah. So here's the principle. Often things need to come to a head before you can get ahead. So they need to come to a head before you can get ahead. God clearly called Moses and Aaron, but things were getting worse. Sometimes things get worse before they get better. We're in a crisis. We don't know how the COVID-19 crisis is going to end. There's racial issues across the US. There's issues of government control, perhaps overreach. There's issues of, international issues around China, the US, Russia, you name it. Many, many issues. And these issues actually are bigger than you, and they are bigger than me. And so our role in what God wants us to do, the timing of what he wants us to do, is not just dependent upon us. There's something bigger at play over here. So keep yourself in a posture where you don't expect everything to be just awesome after you started to obey God. You can start to obey God and things can get more difficult. That doesn't mean you should give up. Hang in there, persevere through the crisis, because there's a purpose of God on the other side.